Microsoft Access Module number 3. We are finishing up session number 1. So in our last video, we created our first query, and that was based off of one table. And then we looked at the query in SQL. Now we're going to scooch down the list here, and we are creating a query right in here, but we're going to do it with more than one table. So I'm going to open up where we were before, and that's the one we created, that patient email. And just to remind you, if I double click on it, right, go to my design view, and I can see which fields we pulled down from what table. That says the table name right there. And we clicked on run. And then another thing we just finished up is that we clicked on that SQL view so we can start reading the code. We're not coding yet. That's chapter number 7. Right now, we're just trying to read the code and see what it will pull. So now we're going to create a query, but with two different tables. So up to the menu we go, and we click on Create, and not the wizard, but Query Design. It pops this one up with that creation down below in the design. So what tables would like? We would like the patient table. I can click it once and click add, or just double click to bring it in the background, and then the visit table also. I'm going to close this. You can move the tables around, make it nice and pretty. I always like to get rid of my scroll bar so I can see all of the fields that are available. It also tells you and shows you that relationship, which you still could double click and really understand your tables. Now, it also goes a step further by saying right and left. This is a join, and we're going to talk more about this, especially in chapter number 7 with all the different join commands. Truthfully, it's kind of doing a natural join right now. All right, let's start creating our subset of our data to answer a question. So we would like to bring down from the patient table city. Now I'm going to just double click to bring it on down. I could click and drag. Let's bring in the first name, the last name, from the, let's see, visit date, right, is over in the other table. And then we want reason. Now again, if I mess this up, it's okay. Bring my mouse down, get that selector, and then I can hit the delete on the keyboard. All right, let's run this. So it's pulling the records that match in both tables. All right, and we should have 85 of these records. Okay, so it asks the question, it pulls them, but we haven't done any criteria yet. Like, give me only those records that meet the city of Atlanta, or only those records that have the last name of Anderson. We haven't done that yet. We're getting there. All right, this needs a name, so we're going to hit save on that. It's patient visits. Now, over on the left side under queries, you're not going to see anything listed until I hit OK, and there is patient's visit. Okay. Sorting. All right, I'm going to flip back to the ebook on this one, and then we're right here with the hyperlink of sort data. So sorting rearranges things based on if you want them ascending or descending or largest to smallest. The sort, if we do it in the datasheet view, is really just a quick sort. And I have a little note on here too to remind you that it's only temporary unless we go back in the design view of this. Now, sorting does depend on your data type. It's not just A to Z. Sure enough, we have, these different ones based on your type on that one. And let me just turn the page right in here quick. We also have the auto filter. Now, the auto filter is right by your a field name, and it's like a drop down menu. But, and it's the big but, it's only temporary view. That's all it is, because again, it's we didn't do this in the design view and then save it the structure to it. We're just doing this very quick. So I call it like a quick fix to things. All right, let's bounce back in here. So I'm saying right in here, let's sort them, and we're not sorting them here, okay? We're sorting them here, and that's what they call the auto. I was just seeing if they had that quick, if it comes up with a name for you. So let's go to city. Now, Atlanta is with Linda Ammon. All right, I'm going to sort this and I'm going to sort it ascending. See, all the A's are together for Atlanta, right? And then it goes to Clarkston, right? Decatur. But then when you go and you find, let's see, there I am now, Linda Ammon, it doesn't just sort the one field, the column, it sorts the records. So what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All 5 fields go up and down in the one sort. And it does try to talk back to you right here with that arrow. Now, if we sort by this and then we go to first name and we say, let's sort that one, all it can handle is the one sort. So it's not a multiple sort. Like if I sort by last name now, right, the city sort is now destroyed. Or if I go to data visit and I sort that one, now the last name is destroyed because it only can do a single sort. That's it. All right, here. All right, I'm just going to go up to my menu in the sort and filter grouping on the home ribbon and click remove sort, just to make sure all those arrows, sorry, are disappeared. Okay, so that's the single sort, which is very different than, and let's see if I can scroll on down here. I guess it's the next page. Then how do you sort with multiple, meaning and then by, and then by, and then by? So we call that you have a primary sort and then a secondary sort, and then you can have a third and a fourth, and you can have 10 different sorts. But in the design view is where we have to do the multiple sort. And the order that your fields are in means the way it reads it across from the left to the right to know this first, and then this first, and then this first, right? So the primary sort has to be on the left side, the first column, and then the other ones follow it. And let me flip on over to this one here. Let's go to the design view. So if I want to sort visit date and then by first name, the visit date would have to appear before first name because it does read it across. So we're going to say the city to make life easy is the first sort. So we're going to sort that one ascending. And then we're going to go to the visit date and then sort that one descending. So here's the primary, here's the secondary. Now if I put visit date first, visit date would end up being the primary, city would then end up being the second one. So let's go take a look at that and click on run, right? Sure enough, cities are first, right? And then the date of visit, right, is descending, I should say, right? Old is first, I think it was, or just descending, yep. All right, now as we look at this temporary view, let's take a look at how SQL came up with how to pull those records. So I'm up to view and then the SQL view. I'm going to go ahead and make that screen bigger a little bit, make it a little car sick. Click off of that just so you can read it. And sure enough, header, select is the command. Go to this table, find this field, and then what? So I'm saying the comma is and then what? Go to that table, find the field, and then what? Table, field, table, field, table, field. No comma, because there's nothing else I want. From. Okay, now a from is what table, and then this one is doing what we call a inner join. Now I'm going to teach you the natural join, the inner join, the outer join, left join, the right join, but that's chapter number 7. What I like for you to get out of this is that SQL doesn't understand the drag and drop. SQL, you have to tell it what tables, and then you have to tell it, command it, how the tables talk to each other. So we're saying, find the patient table, join it to the visit table on, and then primary key of the patient to the foreign key in the visit table. Ah, you see that? Now, the body can go on and we can have other lines in here for other commands. But since we want to sort, it means order by is the command, and then whatever field we put first is the primary, whatever field we put second is the secondary. If we want it ascending, we don't have to put a command word because that's the default. If we want it descending, you have to put the word DESC and then wipe your feet. meaning you have to tell SQL you are done with the commanding, so we put the semicolon. Okay, so remember, I'm trying to introduce. I want to see if you can read this, before we go too far. Okay, did we save this one yet? I think we did, so I'm just going to hit save again because this is the patient visits query, and then I'm going to go ahead and close this. Okay, let's try filtering now. So I'm going to flick back to our ebook on this one, go back to our table of contents, scroll on down a little bit here, and we're on filtering data. So a filter is a set of restrictions you place on your records. So it's like a condition or a criteria, but it's a temporary view because we're not going to do these filters inside the design view. We have a filter by selection, which is the easiest one. I call this one the lightning bolt. Um, and that is again in the datasheet view. So we have filter by selection or we have filter by form. Filter by form is the little bit harder view. All right, back to Microsoft Access, right? We're going to go back into, let's see, I think we're in, whoops, which one are we in now? I think we are in this one. Let me close this again, and we're in patient visits, right? Yep, sure we are. Okay. Um, Now, filter by selection is in your sort and filter grouping on your home. And we kind of did the sorts right here, the ascending, descending. That's remove sorts. And then you got filter by selection, advanced filter, and then this filter button is kind of like a toggle where you can run it, apply it, or take it away. So you highlight what you want. So I'm going to say I want all of the 85 records. Just give me the records that match Atlanta. So if I hit the filter by selection, the lightning bolt, now I have some more options. Do we want it equal, not equal, contains, does not contain? Let's say equals. And now I got 21 records that match that. All right, I'm going to toggle that filter, turn it off, go back up, give me all the records that don't equal Atlanta, and now I have 64. Now I love that toggle, which is super nice, right? And you can bounce back and forth really, really quickly. So I use this all the time when at the workplace where, I'd have the plant manager coming to me and say, Linda, and then right away he would want this quick question. Never going to ask this again to me. So I don't want to make a big long report. So I could have just pulled up the table and then I do a filter to a filter. How about begins with a T, right? Look at that. And then I can fly through, I could do a filter on a filter, and then we can do the reason too, and just say it's annual wellness. Look at that, filter, 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 and I can get my answer done really quickly. So I'm going to toggle that off again. And let's try another one, right? So let's find Anderson, because we looked at them before, filter by selection, right? Oh, now I know there was two of them in there. All right, turn it off. Let's go over here, cast removal. Let's go see how many people did cast removal. I got 2 on that one, toggle it off. How about influenza, right? Selection equals on that. I know. How about data visit? And now data visit, if we're going to do a filter on this one, we can highlight it and then see how it changes a little bit? It's because of the data type. So I could say on or before, right? I don't know how many we got on that one. It looks like these are, oh, we got 85. They were all on or before that one, right? So let's try that again. Let's toggle that filter off, highlight this, right? Selection, how about does not equal? Right? Now only one of them came in on that day because now we're at 84 out of the 85. Turn it on off, right? There's lots, and I can hit the drop down here too. And then there could be even more different filters. Look at this. The filter by selection up on top is quick, but now I can even go even a little bit more crazy with that one. It shouldn't like what I ask on that one. All right, now the other way of doing this is the advanced filter. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click on the filter, say clear all filters, hit the advanced, right, filter by form, and what it does is that the screen looks a little bit different because it says, here are your fields. What do you want to pull? So I want to pull all of the ones that equal city. It puts that, or I want all of the ones that equal Decatur, and then toggle it. Okay, see, Atlanta and Decatur. So the lightning bolt is quick, highlight and get it. Where the advanced, we can actually even put in some expressions in there, meaning that we could put in a formula inside of that advanced form too. Okay, that is the end of our session. Please, please remember that before you start in the homework, I do have you to do that virtual lab, and the virtual lab is to practice your steps, and it is worth points too.